Hey y'all, so this word today, God kind of pulled together through a dream that he had given me a few days ago. And to summarize, it is about vindication and about the tables turning and that table being prepared in front of your enemies. And I'm not going to go into all the details of the dream because they're very specific to me, but I'll give you the gist of the dream. And to start off with, it was a childhood house and I had arrived there. And when I arrived, I noticed there was a lot of people there waiting as if I was arriving for some sort of event or something. They were all waiting for some sort of event to take place and they were there watching. And these people represented enemies, right? And so I went in the house and I went in this room, and the person that this room belonged to was an enemy. And I noticed that when I walked in the room, it stunk, right? And I had a few days later actually received a number in the Strongs, 889, which in the Strongs means stench, right? So confirmation to that. I walked out of the room and the person that the room belonged to ends up standing in front of me, and my pants rip, like the side of my pants rip all the way down, and she starts kind of like laughing at me. And I'm like, why are you laughing when you have the same pants that have done the same thing? Right? And then that actually led me to Matthew chapter 7, verses 1-3. That reads, "Don't judge other people and you will not be judged. You will be judged in the same way that you judge others. And the forgiveness you give to others will be given to you. Why do you notice the little piece of dust that is in your brother's eye, but you don't notice the big piece of wood that's in your own eye?" Again, she judged me for the way that my pants ripped, but hers were doing the same thing. Why judge someone else when you're not even looking at yourself? Like, nobody's perfect and everybody has their own issues, right? And their own things that they deal with. So when you're not perfect, why are you judging this person when you've got X, Y, and Z wrong? Just like you judge others, you will be judged in the same way. So I know this to be true because I'll just say, before I was saved, before I really started following Jesus, right? Back in my early, like in my teen years, in my early adulthood years, like early adulthood years, I was not a nice person. I judged people. I talked about people, gossiped about people. I was that person. But I started, in the same way that you judge others, you will also be judged. I noticed that the things that I would say about other people would turn around and happen to me. And that's essentially, once I started turning to God and, growing my relationship with him and stuff, and I was telling him, like, I want to change. I don't want to be this way anymore. Help me, I started to, like, my eyes were open. That was one of the first things actually that God taught me, was to stop talking about others, when you are not perfect yourself. So 100% this happens. People call it karma. I don't believe karma. I believe God judges those in the same way that they judge others. He just does. And that is what people call karma, but it's not karma. Karma, I think, is a new age term. One of the new age terms, but 100% it is a thing. And so, yeah. And what God's saying with that, is that in the same way that these people, your enemies, have talked about you, have, maybe God has had you in this season for some time, while he's been working on you, growing you, and all of the things that has appeared from the outside looking in, that you have been in this lowly place. You might have been in lack. But here's the thing, like, obviously, that they may see it one way, but that God has taken care of you the whole time. You have done everything that he has told you to do. You've been obedient to him, and he has made sure that you have had everything that you have needed. But from the outside looking in, it doesn't look that way. But those people who have judged you, talked about you, mocked you, laughed at you, made fun of you, whatever the case, the tables are turning. God is bringing you the vindication in this hour. And I will make note of one thing that I noticed after the whole zipper thing happened with my pants. I don't know if I said it a few minutes ago or not, but it fixed itself. Like the zipper, it was made new. My pants were made new. And so also in this dream, when I woke up for a second, I heard your promise is coming at, and then I heard the number 341 or 340. I couldn't remember, but they both mean the same thing in the Strong's Concordance. Enemies, enemy, and then to renew and make new. My pants were made new right in front of these people. Like, not to mention, I also was waiting on one last thing, right? There was this promise that God has promised me, and I was standing there and I was waiting for it and waiting for it and waiting for it. And then at the last second, this promise shows up, and it looked completely renewed, made new, purified, cleansed inside and out. And God basically, again, he's saying, like, you are being renewed and made new, everything being made new in front of your enemies while you're elevating in front of them, and all of the things that they judge you for, they're now going into that judgment. And so you're elevating while they're going to be judged by God for the things that they have judged you for. And also, I had received the number 2121, which means in the Strong's timely and kairos. So it is that kairos timing. And God had also, so I had seen this Dodge Ram, and it was brand new, like brand new. It looked so nice, and it was white. And on it, I noticed it said one big A1 and then Ram next to it. And one big, so A1 means very good and excellent. And then Ram. So a big, very good, excellent Ram, a Ram, an 11th hour miracle. That miracle is everything is coming into alignment just as it should, right on time, that kairos timing. And just like in the dream where that promise showed up at the last minute and kind of pulled everything together, that's the Ram. That 11th hour miracle is going to show up right in front of your enemies, and they're going to be like, how, when, where? But God has given instructions on that and has said, do not be boastful, do not be prideful, keep yourself humble when this happens, right? Because just as you judge others, you will be judged. And just as quickly as God gives something to you, he can take it away, right? And another verse that he had given me was Psalm 23:5. You prepare a meal for me in front of my enemies. You pour oil of blessing on my head, and you give me more than I can hold. So yeah. Some other numbers that he had given me in the Strongs was 692, which means unemployed, free from labor, lazy. Also 1157, which means money lender. And then 2399, which means a private or unskilled person, a person who conspicuously lacks education or status, easily misunderstood as being uninstructed. So those people who have looked at you like maybe, oh, God wouldn't have you do that. God would never tell you to do that, just because you've been obedient and it doesn't make sense to them. You've been in this place that looks like lack to them, especially if this is financially. You are going from being that person who appears to be lazy, just unemployed, not working, who might lack status, what the world thinks, of status, or just being misunderstood as being instructed. Those that have judged you like that, they're going down while you are going up. No longer will you be that person who lacks, right, or appears to lack, but you're going to be the money lender. You're going to be the lenderer and not the borrower. And that is what's happening